Good morning, beautiful. It is lovely to be out here. Yeah, it is cold. It's not really, I don't know, it's not really that cold, but today I felt like wearing a scarf. And we'll see how I go. It's pretty chilly out here, and I thought I'd go inside after I'd shown you the world and the flowers. So let's see. I give myself permission to do either. There is the sky. Clear skies make for a cold morning and a pretty beautiful day. And, gee, you might notice something different there. I had some tree work done on the weekend, and that big carokia has been pruned. Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Linda. Good morning. So, yeah, and that's not the least of it. The front garden, the changes are much bigger, but it's very exciting, and I've wanted it done for a while, and it just all happened very easily, pretty much like a birthday present, so I didn't even have to ask. Here are the antique daffodils. Daffodils always come out later than jonquils, and they're so pretty. They smell good too. But let's see if we can get up close. There you go, you got some focus now. Shayla, good morning. Faye, g'day. Nikki, Mariana, good morning. So we're just enjoying the daffodils, the daffodillies, because they're out. Actually, you see, they've been a bit chewed. I got these from a lady down the road. I planted some stuff in her garden and she gave me some of her daffodils. So that was great. There's the native section up the back, just starting to get touched by the sun. Those trees will cover themselves in blossom in a little while. Good morning, Elizabeth. Good evening to you. And we have yellow daisies. And we still got flowers on the dragon's gold kowhai. And I am personally loving, this is how the Artemisia grows. It's just so beautiful. And in the background you can see the magnolia, which is really coming out. And the paper white jonquils are getting a bit old, but they're still lovely. Well, there's a fact about the Canary Islands, Faye Elizabeth. Did you know that the Canary Island canaries are actually named after a dog? So the Canary Islands are named after dogs. Fun fact that my husband discovered sometime over the weekend. So let's look at these flowers. There's more and more of them. We get up close and you can see the detail. You can see why it's called a star magnolia. So yeah, there's lots of beauty here, and as warm as it is where you are in the Canaries, it's certainly cold here. But I like the cold, so it's okay. And look at these snowflakes, aren't they gorgeous? Look at the little green dots on each little flower. It's got green dots on it, and they're beautiful. I know it's totally random. It's a totally random fact, so it's very synchronous that I get to share it when you're there. Probably never would have happened if you hadn't said where you are. So there we are, snowflakes. There you go. Now the focus is really good. And we've still got lots of jonquils happening here. Different view, ground level. Misty, good morning. Lance, g'day, sweetheart. Just doing the garden tour. It's been a long time since you saw it, and look at it now. Lance has the dubious privilege of being one of my nephews. So he's actually seen this garden in person, but it was a long time ago now. And, well, it's a bit different, and this is the best time of year in the back garden. Let's just enjoy this fabulous jonquil. Look at that. And not missing the soldiers and sailors, which I really enjoy. There it is. And these beautiful... I just love this shot. You see me show off this shot a lot. It's gorgeous. And the I adore. Right, of course, K9. Yes, somehow got corrupted to Canary. There you go. So this is the world outside today, and look, the hydrangeas. I'm probably not going to get to prune them this year. And there's sort of a vague, almost touch of frost on the lawn, but it's not really happening. So I'm still warm enough, so we're going to talk outside. We'll start here. So today I want to talk about a question that one of my beautiful people, you're all my beautiful people by the way, conversation, and long story short, everything this beautiful being has experienced in the context of family, which is always in the context of what we are societally told family means. Good morning, Nora! So family love you, family support you, family are there for you, family understand you better than everybody else, all of that stuff, right? This archetypal thing of what family means. And so there's all that, but their own experience of family was actually really horribly painful and just consistently difficult. And actually, there was food, there was shelter. They eventually got sent to school, late, but, they got sent to school, very, very bright. All kinds of things that, remember, the child has no analytical mind up to age 7. So if that is normal, if that is just how life is, then this is what family means. G'day, Julian! And we have no ability to argue with our early experience. It's just how life is. And so if this is family, this is how you experience family. And then you grow up a little bit and you start having an analytical mind and you start looking at movies and you read books and you look around, you see other people in families and they smile and it looks like it's happy. And you think, well, my family wasn't like that, but families are supposed to love you. So you get this idea evolving in your mind and in your body, of course, because of most of the experience, which is very difficult and traumatic even, and I know many of you relate to this one way or another, it's actually stored in your body. You're not even aware of it. You just have all these reactions and responses, and it's like, and you don't even realise that half the time. And you think, oh, that was my family. Family's supposed to love you. That must mean that love is like what I experienced with my family, but it was all very uncomfortable. It was all very painful. But I can't argue with that. That must be what love is. Yeah, it's cold, Elizabeth. Believe me, it's cold. It's not as cold as it's been, but today I just feel like wearing a scarf. So we get mixed up because as a child, you're too young. You don't have the analytical capacity to say that this person who is, a caregiver, let's be very generic here, who is really unkind to me all the time, but they give me food and, they put me to bed and they give me a bath or whatever. That's love. That's love. They say they love me, but they behave like this. Or they say, I love you, and they smack me because, I'm smacking you because I love you, because otherwise you'll turn into some awful person. And the child has no ability to slice and dice to say, hang on a minute, love? Pain? What? This doesn't make sense. The child has no ability to do that. So, whatever we interpret as love, and remember, you backwards engineer it, because you grow up and you have your family experience and then you look around at the whole archetypal societal programming of what family is and you think, well, if that's family and family is love, then this is love. That's what happens. And it just isn't true at all. I can't see anything. It isn't true at all, but it's what we unconsciously believe. And so I want to talk about that problem, because the problem is, if that's you, or some aspect of that is you, and everyone's going to have their own experience. Morning, Jen! Then, if that's all you know, and you want something else because your heart refuses to accept, you logically think, well, they loved me, they looked after me, and there's all the guilt trip that goes on about, why am I not grateful to my family for giving me, my mother for giving me life, my father for earning and giving me, food. Why am I not grateful? Why do I not feel love? Why do I not feel, connection? What's wrong with me that I don't feel all this fabulous stuff about my family? Hi, Pearl! And it just... You want to feel good about it, but you just can't. And you think, there must be something more to what I can feel in the context of love than that. But what? I can't imagine it. I don't know, because you've got no point of reference, right? All you know is this unconscious programming which went straight into your awareness when you were small. And this isn't about blaming anybody. This isn't about saying how shitty our parents were. Some of them were really shitty parents. But if you grow up with whatever it was that they grew up with, you probably understand why they were shitty parents, because they had even a shittier time when they were small. We all pretty much intellectually understand how that works. It doesn't make it easy. It's just, insight and understanding is great. Doesn't change a damn thing. So to get outside of that box of what you don't even realise you're still believing and owning as true for you is the challenge. How do I even begin to imagine something other than this? Yeah, I know, Linda. I wasn't thinking of your mum, but there's quite a few people who've had that experience. Parents who are really unwilling parents, parents who are really unhappy parents, parents like my mother, for example, who really wanted to be a parent and loved me very much, but was so uncomfortable in herself that I just didn't feel that love. I didn't understand that for the longest time, and so I was running on all this unconscious programming about what love is. And I've had to create my own program. And so that's what I want to talk about. How do you get outside of that box? How do you find something that's completely outside of your awareness? Completely new. Hang on, I'll be careful here. I'm just wondering if I should go inside. It's kind of hard to walk around out here because everything is slightly slippery, and the shoes that the slippers that I'm wearing have no tread whatsoever on the bottom, so I'll take the hint and go inside. Because I gave myself the option, remember? So we'll shut this. There's the scruffy laundry that I'm so grateful to have. Oh dear. Yeah, I've got all kinds of grass on my shoes, so I'm going to clean that up off the scruffy carpet later. At least I haven't tracked it into the lounge. This is what you do when you walk in from a lawn that got mowed last week, or whenever it was. Right, putting this down. Opportunity to check the clock while we're at it. So how do you get outside of that box, really? Oh geez, I just realised my little stand, bear with me folks, is too low. I'm sitting on a higher chair. Okay, right, we're in here. And I got to have the cushion. It's very important to have the cushion. I can take this off now, I'm inside. So, how do you get out of that box? And so I was thinking to myself, what would I say? What would I say to somebody who's in that situation? And it's really very sort of practical, and, you've got an analytical mind. If you've grown up, whatever you've grown up with, you have ability to think, you have an ability to choose. Yeah, and maybe the family will see, maybe they won't, but the point is what you're saying, strength, hope, and moving forward, and you can smile knowing you did your work. And part of it for me has been letting go of my whole idea of what I thought family should be to me. That was really hard. But what I want to talk about today is how do you get outside that box? How do you even start imagining something else? Because you know how much I talk about the fact that, whatever it is that happened, it doesn't matter what happened. It really doesn't matter, because the more you remember it, the more you're going to feel it, and the more you're going to program yourself into that past, the more it's going to stay being who you are. Yeah, whatever. You want something else, you got to stop telling that story. But what story do I want to tell? And I have no idea, right? So how do we create a new story? How do we recognize the old self enough to be able to create a new self? How do you realize, oh my God, I'm so loyal and there's no fucking point? How do I get outside my own world that is so familiar to me and connect with something new? And so I thought about that, and I tried to think about it from the perspective of being right in the middle of it and realising, this is the point where some of you will have been, or may even be now, is that you're banging your head on your own brick wall and you know there's something else, but you just don't know what it is. So that moment is what I'm talking about, and that moment can last for a little while, okay? That situation. Oh, yes. yeah. And that, what you're talking about, Linda, was real, it's what my inspiration Joe Dispenza says. Most people try to create a new personal reality while they're still the same personality. And because your personality creates your personal reality, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. If you want a different personal reality, you literally have to become somebody else. So how the heck do you become somebody else when you've got no idea? Robin, good morning. And I thought, well, the reason why there is this desire inside you for something more, something greater, something that doesn't hurt, because love really doesn't hurt. Love can drive you to do all kinds of things, but when love is driving you, there is a sense of, yeah, inside me. Hi, Kimmy! There is agreement, there is alignment, right? It just isn't that I've got to love till it hurts, I've got to give till it hurts, I have to sacrifice myself, all of that shit. For me, it is shit. It's not true. So, who am I, or how is it? What's some little kernel, some little seed of who I want to be and how it might feel to really experience love when I've got no idea what that is? That is the question. And I thought, well, how do you answer that? But the reason why there is this drive and this desire inside you for more, for something other than what you've experienced all the way up till now, and you're saying there has to be more, love has to actually feel good, it must be more than just hurting all the time. The reason why there's a drive in you is because you know there must be something more. And what is it? So it's because you've seen or felt something that gave you an inkling that there was something more. Common places where we see things that give us inklings, that make us, by contrast, say, oh, that's amazing, I want that. And then straight after that, you feel its absence, like, oh, shit, I don't have that. But putting that I don't have it and it's impossible and I can never have it and it's never happened, putting all of that to one side for the moment, just ignoring that for the moment. What is that movie, that story, those friends that you had where they really did love each other? That relationship that you observed where you thought, man, they really respect each other. They talk to each other. They have their challenges, but they move through. What was it that you saw, felt, heard, tasted, experienced that you thought, I'd like to feel like that. I'd like to have that experience. And what happens if there's a really deep contrast between what you see and what you experience in yourself is that you see it and you think that would be really nice. And because the contrast is so deep, you go immediately into the lack and the impossibility of it. So you don't even most of the time notice that you would like that. You just go straight into, oh shit, I don't have that. Bastards, how can they be so happy when I'm so miserable? Yeah, it's really easy to lose the fact that this is something you desired. But if you understand that part of recognizing what you desire is that we notice things by contrast. And, oh, they're happy and I don't feel happy. And for the stronger, the bigger the gap, the deeper the divide between what you see out there and what you feel in here, the bigger and often the faster the lack is that comes up in you that says, oh, forget it, you can't have that. Just be angry at them or feel sad or feel depressed because you can't have this. And you never get to notice that that was actually what you desired. And so if you can sit, you have to be present enough with yourself and your lack, really. You have to be willing to experience that gap between who you want to be and who you are to realise, oh, that is a little bit of something that I want to experience for myself. And then, and you think, okay, I'm not there, but maybe if it's actually possible for me to have it, and if you have an awareness inside you that it might actually be possible, like if you can believe in yourself and you can believe in possibility just a little bit, enough to actually look at this and feel into it and listen to your heart and listen to, your memories even, or your imaginations, and not dismiss them straight away because they're so damn impossible you never even thought to observe them before. So if you can actually just observe and, so what exactly of that vignette, that little memory, that little, oh, I like that, did I really like? And even if there is just one little piece of the picture that you both like, and think, I'd like to make that mine. And how would that feel? And just allow yourself, take the risk, and it is a risk when you felt a certain way for a very long time to have a different feeling. Remember, your body's not used to it. It's used to the chemistry of the other feeling. It's going to feel wrong to have a different feeling. But take the risk to think, okay, if I let myself just imagine a little teeny tiny piece of that future, like planting a seed of possibility in myself, how would that feel? And that might be all you can do. If you get a bit more familiar with the feeling, you might be able to start imagining, well, what would I do? Who would I be with? Where would I be? What would I not be doing? What would I not be thinking? What would I not be feeling? Very, very soon. I mean, you might have to start real slow, but the more you keep playing with and exploring and getting familiar with this new aspect of yourself, the more it's going to grow and get bigger. Because what did you just do when you looked at that possibility and you started to pick it up and explore it and entertain it? You made new neural connections in your brain. And your little neurons go together and they hook up and they make a connection. And if you keep looking at it, then your brain starts to recruit more things that sort of can go with it, and they make a bigger jungle, a bigger connection, bigger network of neurons, and it grows inside you. That's literally how it works. All you got to do is keep thinking about it, and sooner or later you're going to feel the feeling. Or all you got to do is feel the feeling, and sooner or later you're going to have some idea of thinking the thoughts. For some people, the thoughts come first and the feelings come later. For some people, the feelings come first and the thoughts come later. It doesn't matter, but you've got to get head and heart in alignment. And the more you spend time with this aspect of yourself, the more it's going to grow into something that you can't possibly imagine right now. But don't let that stop you. Just plant a seed and possibility inside yourself and keep watering it, keep looking after it, and it'll grow. So there you are. That's what I wanted to say today. Haven't seen any of your comments recently. Facebook's obviously decided I need to see them later. So I will look forward to responding. It's always beautiful to be with you. Thank you so much for sharing yourself with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.